Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Fuchs, what would you describe in a very one sentence maybe, what is the role of the CFPB?
Congress set forth the purpose of the CFPB in the Dodd-Frank Act. And
not what Congress said. What do you say the role of it is?
The role of the CFPB is to help make the markets for consumer finance more transparent and to enable consumers to have access to fair and transparent products and services.
Okay. And going back to what the gentleman from Missouri asked about the gentleman that got a loan for his son's tuition. If somebody, let's say, B and C credit needed $500 or $800 and called the CFPB and said, hey, you know, I've got B and C credit, where would you recommend that they go to borrow that money?
It's hard in the abstract to recommend where a person goes to get short-term small dollar credit. It would depend on the circumstance of the person and what was available to them.
So, but what would you recommend? A big bank, Bank of America, or what would you recommend to them? What would be your choices?
There's many choices out there right now for consumers. There's opportunities to go to banks for credit. There's opportunities to go to non-bank lenders for credit. And it really will depend on the circumstances of the consumer. If they have savings or if they don't have savings, they may have different options available to them.
Well, I don't think there's as many out there as you think there are. Choke point, as my colleague from Georgia was pointing out, is trying to put as many of these people out of business that you can. I want to read a statement from Bill Isaac, who is the former chairman of the FDIC. He recently stated the same slippery slope that the DOJ uses today to choke off payday lenders from banking services could tomorrow be used on convenience stores selling large sugary sodas, restaurants offering foods with high trans fat content, or family planning clinics performing abortions. Ironically, at the same time, government is making life miserable for businesses seeking to meet consumers' needs for emergency funds. It is at the same time encouraging banks to offer services to marijuana dealers. Now, how do y'all write that, Mr. Osterman?
Well, in terms of, I'm not quite sure I understand your question, sir.
The question is, when you are trying to keep people that have a lending service that they are doing to people who might not be able to walk into a normal traditional bank and do business, and you are trying to put out of business some of those people that do provide that service, while at the same time trying to make it possible where banks can do business with people that sell federally illegal drugs.
So we're not trying to put legitimate businesses out of business. No, sir.
Okay.
We are not.
Have you ever put anybody out of business or kept anybody that was state regulated, federally regulated from doing business with a bank?
In terms of what we're looking at is the safety and soundness of our banks. And as we've said...
I know that. I know you are. But if you ever told somebody that had a legal business, is either regulated by the state or the federal government, that they could not, that a bank could not do business with them?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And so the choke point has no reality to it?
The choke point, as I've said before, sir, is a Department of Justice program that was going after illegal activity, and we were asked to provide information, and that's what we did to address illegal activity. We did put out a financial institution letter to make it clear.
How do you describe illegal activity when somebody's regulated by some state board that permits them to do business? How is that an illegal activity?
Well, for example, for payday lenders in several states, payday lending is illegal. And so, you know, when banks are dealing with these lenders and they're in different states, the banks need to be assured that those lenders are in fact acting in a legal way. Because if they're not, it actually opens up the institution to risk in terms of being sued by state attorneys general and others because they're not complying with the law.
Just typical picking winners and losers. Thank you.